Welcome back to Jewish Life 101, the podcast where we talk about any topic from a Jewish perspective, from the way that a Jew would look at it. Today's topic is cult versus religion. This is the second half of an interview that we had with Rabbi Shea Hecht. Hope you enjoy. I think it's time to move on to our second topic. So we said cult versus religion. So the question is really, it's the same question. I'm going to ask it in two ways. Number one, what's the difference between the two of them? And the second one is cult is kind of a blacklisted word, but religion isn't. If you ask anyone on the street, they tell you, okay, this one is that they're in a secluded area in the middle of nowhere and they're doing religion. And this one is that they have their own city and they do whatever. And then they go on Saturday or Sunday, they go to celebrate their religion. So what really is the fundamental difference between the two of them, that one of them is bad and one of them is good?
I recently dealt with one or two Jewish cults. And I had to somehow change the wording that I'm using. And the question is, okay, give it to me in one sentence. What's the problem with the cult? The problem with the cult is it takes away your free choice. The greatest gift that we received from God was free choice. And every religion promotes free choice. And a cult takes away that free choice. Some of the cults say, I am the brain. I am the wisdom. You follow everything that I say. You don't have a right to ask questions. Or, like Scientology, they kill your feelings. You have no heart. So the intellectual capacity is there, but you can't feel. And therefore you cannot function. And therefore you're not a full human being. And in essence, because you don't function like a human being, they're taking away your free choice. And that is the problem with the cult. It's not about the practices. It's not about some of the ideas. Some of those ideas came from very good places. They came from the Torah. Some of those practices came from good places. But it's designed in a way to take the person's free choice away from them. Right. Number one. Number two is, the fact is that cults do lie to their people when they present themselves originally. They're not honest and upfront who they are. We see that their whole plan of bringing people in and attracting other people, it's all done under the banner that the ends justify the means, and therefore lying is okay, cheating is okay, tell them whatever you want, just get them in. But that's not true. Judaism, particularly when the Lubavitcher young man goes out and puts on film with the young man, he says, I'm putting on film because God said to put on film. And it is important. And you have to do it. This is one of the 613 mitzvahs. And there are another 612 mitzvahs that will follow. So we are very, very upfront and honest exactly who we are. And in particular, in the system of Judaism, from the age of 9 years old, we begin to start studying Talmud because we want you to use your brain. We want you to ask questions. We want you to delve into the depth. Just the opposite of what a cult would do.
Right. I'd like to point out that also, even though in Judaism there is a punishment system, which isn't, it's really more of a way to, it's a kind of a way to cleanse yourself system. It's not so much of a punishment, but it can be looked at as a punishment system, the perfect way, the perfect version of Judaism, where we would have our own land and have our own laws. But that's not taking away your free will. Taking away your free will, I think, is more, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more that you're not able to make a free choice. We brainwash you. We take over your thoughts. Over here, number one, we're able to have free will like we're trying to study. This entire podcast is about trying to learn what to do, learning what Judaism says. Judaism has a logical opinion, and you could discuss it. We're supposed to discuss it. We have yeshiva where we just sit years on end discussing it. But also, there is the room for doing bad. We do not brainwash someone that they're scared in their mind that they have to be in this way. If someone so decides to do the wrong thing, that's also, we do not encourage that. They can do the wrong thing. There is a punishment system, and we do not encourage doing the wrong thing, but there is that level of free choice. In fact, that part is actually in Judaism described as one of the greatest and possibly the greatest gift that was ever given to a person. And in our actions specifically, that is our only free choice. We do not have free choice on where we go because that's divine providence. God decides if you're going to be here today, if you're going to be there tomorrow. God decides if you're going to work as a lawyer or an accountant. The free choice that we have is in our actions, if we're going to do the right thing or if we're going to do the wrong thing. If we're going to be nice to someone or be mean to someone. But that is something that Judaism respects and Judaism specifically gives. Even when it describes the goodness of a person, and this is how a Jew is perfectly, it will point out that you're able to do the opposite theoretically or even practically because you have a level of free choice.
I agree. The free choice card is a very, very important card. Plus, the beauty of all religions is there's a part to it that's self-expression. And that we do not see in the cults as well. They seem to all, you have to fit into the cookie cutter. No, God created many different people. There were intellectual people, there were emotional people, and the emotions, that people who serve God through music, people who serve God through medicine, people who serve God through knowledge, people who want to study. And all those have room and place at the table.
Right. I remember from your book that you stated that, in your opinion, if someone's taken away from a cult, then what you do, especially because you dealt with Jewish people and Jewish cults specifically, is what you do is you try to replace it with religion. So is that just because we want to bring them closer to Judaism?
First of all, I think it depends. If it was someone who was looking for religion, my common question was always, did you delve into your own religion? Because most cases, these young people never tried their own Judaism. They never studied in the yeshiva. They never studied any Talmud. They never really studied. They went to Bible class or Talmud Torah, what we call it, afternoon class, Hebrew school, just to get bar mitzvah, a bat mitzvah. No, that's it, and that's not it. Judaism has so much more to offer. And I say, hey, let's take a trip down that road. Let's see what happens. Let's study a piece of Talmud together. Let's get a real understanding for the beauty and the depth of the knowledge of God, which is Torah. And that alone talks to them, and they realize, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. I gave up something before even knowing what it is.
That's true. And I would assume that helps because they are stuck in a certain mindset. You're taking that out of the mindset and you're bringing them into another one which replaces that one.
My job is to open them up, and they should do the choosing.
That's true.
I'm not interested in choosing for them. They have to choose. And many of those young people that we get out of cults ended up becoming religious Jews, and many didn't. They all had a new appreciation and different appreciation for Judaism. They all realized that they are Jew first and then something else second. But it doesn't mean necessarily they got involved in the religion.
Okay. Like we said earlier, religion is a concept. We believe that religion is a concept of free choice in general. Would you have any stories or examples of anything relating to cults that you would like to, like a story of someone you helped?
The one story that comes to mind now is I remember sitting with a young lady who got involved in Unification Church, and Jewish girl from Long Island, and she thought that there has to be some energy that will unify the universe. After all, we call it universe. With something will unify the universe, and she thought that spirituality would do it. And but she never studied her own religion. And when she was then involved in the moonies for a certain period of time, and then was brought and exposed to some of the ideas of Judaism, she was, I remember she broke down to cry, to say, what? How many Jews are being cheated by not having the opportunity to study Torah, to study spirituality, to study God, to recognize that we have the wealth when it comes to spirituality. We have the wealth when it comes to religion. We have the wealth when it comes to making this world, tikkun olam, making this world a better place for all of mankind.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Feel free to share with a friend. Here at Jewish Life 101, we spend many hours on every single episode, and it's all with your support. Just click the link in the description to find out more, and we'll see you next time on Jewish Life 101.